Hey everyone, welcome to the Football Wizards. In this video, we will review the season and provide some useful tips and observations along the way. Starting with the first game week of the season, we put a lot of research into our drafts and came up with these players as our final 15. The team didn't let us down, scoring a cracking 99 points. I was especially proud of including Wan-Bissaka as a cheap enabler even though we left him on the bench. The overall rank after game week 1 was around 16k. We made no transfers before game week 2, with the only change being a switch of armband to Aguero. This turned out to be the best decision as Aguero ended up scoring 40 points. We got 88 points in game week 2 and an overall rank of 20k. So the season started really well for us, but some premium players like Eriksen were underperforming. On the other hand, Richarlison had started the season really strongly and was one of the most transferred in players ahead of game week 3. Along with that, Alonso also had a great start to the season. Using our 2 free transfers, we went for Alonso and Richarlison. Richarlison immediately made us pay for our mistake as he was sent off for an unnecessary headbutt. We got 55 points and the overall rank was now 15k. Never transfer a player in just because everybody else is doing it. Always trust your own instinct and judgment. From now on, let's call this behavior the bandwagon syndrome. In game week 4, we didn't really learn from our first bandwagon syndrome as we replaced Richarlison with another bandwagon, Walcott. Although Walcott didn't work out, at least the move for Alonso was successful. In game week 4, we got 61 points and the overall rank was now around 6k. As the early run of easy fixtures for Liverpool was over, we decided it was time to move on one of their premium midfielders, so in came Hazard for Salah. We transferred in Hazard because he was gonna play against Cardiff at home and he did not disappoint, scoring a massive 20 points. So after game week 5, the overall rank was around 8k. Looking at our team after game week 5, especially after the injury to Benjamin Mendy, we felt that our team needed quite a few changes. So riding on our early season success, we activated the wildcard with a view to maintain this form. The main transfers that we made were Robertson out for Alexander-Arnold, Mendy for Delph, Tosin for Lukaku and Walcott for Lucas Moura. In game week 6, we scored 66 points with the overall rank close to 5k. Don't worry if you have a bad start to the season, just use your first wildcard chip to put things right. Please remember that you will get a new wildcard chip only after game week 19, so plan your wildcard team for the long term. We took our first hit of the season in game week 7, realizing our mistake of getting Lukaku on the wildcard. So we transferred out Mane and Lukaku for Kane and Richarlison. This proved to be the right move as Kane scored a brace against Huddersfield. Although we had started the season with a strict rule against taking any hits, this decision demonstrated that intelligent hits can be worth it. The overall rank at the end of game week 7 was around 4k. In game week 8, putting the armband on Kane was a no-brainer as Spurs faced Cardiff at Wembley. No one expected Kane to blank, but he did, and served us our first captain blank of the season. The result of this was a big red arrow and a fall to 12k. Having gained confidence with our first hit, we made 3 transfers in game week 9 with a hit of -4. This was a very strange game week with an overall average of just 43 points. Managers without attacking players of Manchester City suffered and our overall rank plunged to a season low of 23k. Had we not transferred in Mendy, it would have been worse. After a bad game week 9, we decided that it was time to move on Kane and get Mo Salah to stop the fall of our overall rank. Not only did we transfer in Salah, we also made him captain against Cardiff City at home and he obliged. Along with that, our Bournemouth players Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser were also in red-hot form, scoring a joint total of 24 points. We got a game week score of 85 and the overall rank improved to 14k. This is how our team performed over the first 10 game weeks. In game week 11, we felt it was time to move on Aaron Wan-Bissaka as Crystal Palace had a run of very difficult games. So we tried to get a differential in Kiko Femenia. In hindsight, it was a mistake and Aaron Wan-Bissaka was definitely a season keeper. The transfer of Arnautovic in game week 10 paid off in game week 11 as he scored 12 points. The game week ended with a score of 80 points and our overall rank was close to 6.5k. The Brighton keeper Matt Ryan had been scoring crazy points for the past 3 game weeks and we had resisted the temptation to bring him in each week. In game week 12, we finally fell prey to the bandwagon syndrome and decided to buy Ryan. Of course, he never kept a clean sheet for our team in the subsequent game weeks we owned him for. The overall rank after game week 12 was close to 6k. Goalkeeper is not a position where we should be wasting our transfers. This is a mistake that we made. We feel that at the start of the season, buying a premium keeper along with the non-playing enabler is the better way to go. Starting from game week 13, Everton had a very decent run of fixtures and many managers were looking to bring in their defenders. After comprehensive analysis, we decided to bring in Dean over Michael Keane. This proved to be a very good decision, especially for the future. We got 51 points in game week 13 with the overall rank still close to 6k. In game week 14, we made no transfer in order to save our free transfer to get Kane in game week 15. The result of this was an average game week with a score of 42 points and a red arrow for the overall rank, which was now down to 15k. In game week 15, we made 3 transfers, getting Kane, Gunnarsson and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The transfer of Kane was successful as he scored 24 points as the captain. Along with Kane, Richarlison and Wilson also performed really well. The game week score of 63 gave us a small green arrow to 13.5k. The Ryan experiment had failed and also having 2 playing keepers led to an extra headache every week, so we moved him on for a cheap enabler and got Lacazette in place of Arnautovic. With Arsenal facing Huddersfield at home, we had initially planned to put the armband on Lacazette. But what a stroke of luck, as I forgot to confirm the team and it accidentally stayed with Salah, who ended up scoring 42 points. This piece of luck gave a huge boost to our overall rank and it moved up to 6k. In game week 17, we made another mistake by breaking the basic rules of the game. We made early transfers to avoid the price rises. But as soon as we got Kolasinac for an injured Trent Alexander-Arnold, the news came out that Kolasinac was also injured and would not be starting. Still, we ended the game week with a decent 54 points and the overall rank at a healthy 7k. In game week 18, no one was sure whether Kolasinac was fit enough to start and the news did nothing to help us out either, so we decided to get a cheap Liverpool defender in Dejan Lovren for Kolasinac. It turned out to be a masterstroke in game week 19. Game week 19 was by far the best game week of the season because we got a 100 plus score without using any chips. We brought in Jimenez and Pogba for Lacazette and Gunnarsson. 6 players in our team got double-digit scores and the overall rank skyrocketed to take us in top 1k for the first time this season. Let's look at our performance curve from game week 11 to game week 19. Until this game week, taking hits was what had made us successful and we continued doing it. In hindsight, when your overall rank is so high up, you should not take unnecessary hits. I still remember a comment by one of our viewers, John Chappell, who advised me not to take any hits when I am so high up. But we continued taking hits and each week our overall rank would fall a little. By game week 28, our overall rank was down to 9k, but we were still happy with it as we had all our chips remaining. This is where we drafted a chip strategy for our team after the official dates for the blank and double game weeks were announced. This was the strategy that I had proposed in our video after game week 28. The basic plan of this strategy was to navigate the blank game weeks without using any chip and focus on the double game weeks. So the first blank game week was in 3 weeks time and we had to take a big risk if we wanted to field 11 players. In game week 29, we made 4 transfers taking a hit of -12, which would perfectly set up our team for the rest of the season. This game week was going to be a make or break. Thankfully, this game week had a very low average score and the 4 players we transferred in got decent points. The overall rank fell to 11k, but this was a hit we had to take to execute our chip strategy. In game week 30, we transferred out Jimenez, who was playing away to Spurs, to get King of Bournemouth. The move was primarily focused at the blank game week 31. The main turning point of this game week was our captain Raheem Sterling, who scored 42 points and not only saved our game week but also boosted our overall rank to 8.5k. The -12 hit that we took in game week 29 paid off handsomely. In game week 31, the first step of our plan was successful as we were able to field 11 players. The transfer of Josh King in game week 30 also proved to be successful. One advantage that we got over managers using their free hit chip in this game week was the low average score. None of the big guns really performed well, so we came out of this game week with a green arrow to 8k. Now was the time for the free hit chip. Double game week 32 was upon us and we did a lot of planning and analysis and fielded a team which got us 97 points. Getting 3 Chelsea players and 3 City players proved to be the right decision. The overall rank was now up to 6k. Game week 33 was the second blank game week that we had been planning for. To complete the plan, we got Vardy and Rondon for Higuain and Arnautovic. Thanks again to our captain pick Hazard, who scored 32 points and boosted the overall rank to 4k. The time to execute the final part of our chip strategy had arrived and we managed to reach game week 34 with a very healthy overall rank. We made a lot of drafts for game week 34 but finally settled for this. A little error in judgment was due to the fact that Brighton had an extra double game week in game week 34. We not only transferred in 2 Brighton players but also put the armband on Duffy. It was a disaster and we were again saved due to the fact that the average score of game week 34 was low. No matter how much the temptation, it is always better to captain a forward or a midfielder in comparison to a defender. In the final double game week of the season, we had planned to use our bench boost chip. We took a hit of -8 and transferred out Sigurdsson and Duffy, who actually ended up scoring more points than the players that we brought in. Still, we scored an excellent 126 points and the overall rank was now under 3k. One of the hardest things to do in this game is to stop yourself from making unnecessary transfers. Don't go for below par double game week players if your existing players are in good form. Always choose form over fixtures. With our overall rank under 3k, it was time for the final push by using our triple captainship on a Liverpool player against Huddersfield. As the bandwagon syndrome kicked in again, we were so tempted to go with Mane as triple captain, but having learned our lesson, we went with our original pick in Mo Salah. It paid off handsomely as Salah scored a massive 57 points, taking our game week score to 139 and overall rank to 742. As the season progresses, we all set our targets and change them realistically. By the end, our target was to finish in the top 1k, and having got there, we decided to play it safe and take no more hits. We got to our highest rank of the season, 467 in game week 37, before finishing the season at a wonderful 534. What a journey it has been. Let's take a final look at the progress graph from game week 1 to game week 38. Our lowest rank this season was 23,798 in game week 9 and the best was 467 in game week 37. The chip strategy that we made in game week 27 was instrumental in getting us to our overall rank at the end of the season. The first wildcard was used at a very crucial time and it helped us continue our early season form. Free hit in double game week 32 got us 97 points. Wildcard 2 in game week 34 might look bad, but it was always meant for game week 35 and 36. In game week 35, bench boost helped us to score 118 points, and in game week 36, our triple captain Salah enabled us to score 135. Seven different formations were used throughout the season and almost all were equally successful with the exception of 5-2-3 that we used in the blank game week 31. Now's the time to announce the winner of the League of the Football Wizards, and the winner is David Leahy from Ireland. I would like to congratulate David for a wonderful performance and an outstanding overall rank of 225. Wow. Last but not the least, I would like to thank you all for supporting the channel throughout the season and what a season it has been. Please give us your feedback on how we can improve our videos next season. We promise to be back with loads of new content. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.